Hello everyone, hello and welcome to another video on the tube of the U from Coach Kyle, your host. And I want to talk to you today about an experience that I had that is extremely challenging. One of the most challenging things that I've done. And this comes during the time of quarantine, isolation, right? We lose our minds a little bit. We start to think a little differently. We start to get creative with our thinking, and we want to feel like we're in control again, right? So before I made this decision, before I did this, I made sure that I was more or less ready for what was coming. I definitely wasn't, but I couldn't have known, right? And so basically what ended up happening was I went to give myself a haircut, right? Quarantining. All these guys that are watching this, all you guys can relate. We don't have our barbers. Where are they? We don't have our barbers. They're gone. And so now we have to navigate this. We have a choice. Let it grow, just let it go, or take it all off, or give ourselves a haircut, or get someone else that's in our house maybe to give a haircut. And so I had a decision, right? One or the other. So I looked up all the videos and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give myself a fade. That's how far I was gonna go. I'm gonna give myself a fade. That didn't work, but I tried. I did my research and everything, and so I went in and I'm like, okay, do the sides, you've watched it many times, you pay attention, you can do it. You got it. And that's all I went in with the intention of doing, was just to give myself a haircut. Haircut, okay? So I did my sides, they got too short, so that's fine. I just left it short on the sides, and then, my long side part on the top. And I was ready to do it. Then I took a video of my head all around and found out that I took a big old chunk out the back of my head. Right there, on the back of my head. So I was faced with decision number 2. Keep it. It's quite noticeable. Keep it, or cut it all off. Because there's no other option. The chunk was so big and it was so abrupt that there was only the 2 options. So I made the decision to take it all off. So I took it all off. And it's all gone. Here it is. I have a official buzz cut. Whew. Yes, I do. I have a buzz cut, folks. The last time I had a buzz cut, I was younger than 10 years old, for sure. I never did it myself, and that was the last time. Y'all remember the gel dippity-doo? Right, the blue stuff? Grade 6, I went into the bathroom at school. I brought it to school in my backpack, and I would go to the bathroom, and I would do my hair. And at that point, was when I made the decision that my hair would become a massive part of my identity. A massive part. And sure enough, it did. 16 years later, 28 years old now, and I was still banking on haircuts. Banking on making sure I get them. Don't let your hair grow too long. Make sure it's styled. Buy the right gel. Do all the things, right? Make sure it's lined up and all the things. And that's been my life. That has been my life for 16 years. And so when I made the decision to do this, I wasn't ready for it. I was not ready for it. And the reason I want to make this video for you today is to talk to you about what I'm battling with it. So there can be some sort of like relatability to my experience, but also just kind of let you know like what you're in for, give you a little bit of a forewarning, and to hopefully help a little bit, because this is big, and it's only been a week. This is fresh. I did it again. I'm keeping it. I did it again, and it's just for me to give myself time to get used to it. So when I went through the process, my friend told me to write down what I was feeling. So I want to share some of those things with you that I was writing down. So vulnerable moment. I'm sorry in advance if it gets a little too deep for you. First things I said, I decided to shave my head. I researched a lot on how to do a fade, so I walked in ready to try it out. I ended up messing up the fade and didn't trust myself enough to fix it, so I shaved the sides and back all the same length. And I was about to leave it, and then I saw a chunk out of the back, and that wasn't salvageable. So then I decided it was time to shave it all off. That was first memo on the phone. After what felt like hours, it was gone. Shock was an understatement. I laughed, I stared, I ignored. I tried to make it look a certain way, but I just couldn't figure it out. And I realized, or I didn't realize in that moment, this is big facts, that for however much longer than I realized, I was shaking. I was full on shaking. I was in panic mode. I was in overwhelmed, anxiety attack, everything. I didn't know what was going on. So I took a shower, cleaned it up. I tried to laugh. I had called 2 friends to show them. They laughed, said it looked good. And then I posted a photo on Instagram, ha ha ha, make light of it. And then it hit me. My body was shaking. I felt extremely uncomfortable. I was just sitting on the couch. I'm still feeling that way today, but it's diminished slightly. I often wear a toque. At first, I was embarrassed, right? Because this is your identity, folks. This is your identity. We attach our identity to our hair so massively, right? We identify with having the certain style of hair, the certain color of hair. We identify with that. And so this was a traumatic event, to be quite honest with you. So I tried to cook dinner. I tried to focus on a documentary. I tried to watch movies, and all I could think about was my shaved head. All I could think about. Over the course of a couple hours, the shaking finally slowed down, and one of the biggest things that I am battling still today is it doesn't feel real. It feels like a dream. It feels like it never happened. Every time I look at myself, I'm reminded. But when I don't look at myself, it feels like it never happened. So it's a constant shock. Constant shock. Here are the 2 biggest things that I'm battling. The first one is confidence. I can't tell you how hard it is to feel confident with a shaved head. After having 16 years of not shaving your head. I can't tell you how hard that is. And one of the biggest problems that I battle, it's not just the confidence of feeling like it looks good. What I'm battling is I feel ugly. I feel unattractive. I don't feel like I used to. Like I said, it's been a week, and it's still there. It is still there. So this is kind of like a forewarning of the thoughts that are going to come up if you ever decide to make this decision, if you haven't already. It's going to be different because you might not have the same preface as me where you identify so heavily with your hair as being a part of, you feeling like you're an attractive human being. And that was how I felt. I felt like part of me being an attractive human being relied heavily on my hair and my hairstyle and it looking good. So when you take it all away, you're really challenged to look at it differently. Now, granted, I'm not straight shaving it. It's not all gone. So there is some still level of attachment to how it looks now, right? That's why I didn't shave it. Also, that just sounds really, really hard to do. But that's what I decided was going to be my decision, to shave it off. And so confidence and feeling ugly. Now, I don't have answers for you on how to battle that because I think that's going to be something unique to everyone. But what I do have to offer is, it took a couple of days for me to more or less get used to it. And then there was a moment. There was a little moment where I'm like, okay, all right, we can do this. We can do this, right? What are you going to do? You're going to throw all the hair from the ground back on and tape it all on? No, it's gone. The shaved head is gone. The hair is gone. So what are you going to do? Well, try to own it. So, I did what most people do, was I had that moment, but there's never enough clarity, I find, in these moments from ourselves. And that's something that I'm learning through this shaved head process, is trying to find clarity within myself. Man, is that hard. It correlates directly with self-love. So what I did was I posted a story on my Instagram and said, today is the day I'm going to own it. I declared that was the day I was going to own it. And it felt good to say that. It felt good to say that. And then I think that same day though, I posted a photo of, just some clothes threw on. I was about to go out. I tried to look good as we do in our photos. And I took that photo, posted it on my story, and I said, keep it, as in keep it shaved, or grow it back out. And this is the part that I laughed at a couple hours later, because I realized that I didn't have enough validation within myself to make it look good, that I needed to search for that from everybody else. And I got exactly what I was looking for. I got the answer. People actually told me to keep it. Now, even to this day, I'm stunned by that answer, because, like I said, I identify with my hair. I identify with it being a certain way, a certain look, right? Keeping up with the times, making sure it looks good. And I still want it to look good. But I looked for that validation, and I got it. So on some level, I feel slightly better about it. And so that's how I coped with that. Right? I did my best to try to find it within myself at that moment, and then I looked for other people to kind of help me out. It didn't help though. This is what I'm trying to explain, is that it didn't help, because still now to this day, I don't feel fully confident in it. I don't feel like I'm an attractive human being still. So this is where the self-love aspect of it kicks in, where this is basically a self-love challenge, right? This is a challenge to learn how to love every part of me, regardless of what it is, and to try to remove the attachments I have towards those things, because evidently they hold a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. And so through that self-love, right, removing the attachments, and I don't know if you know this, but Buddhist monks, they shave their head because they want to remove any attachment they have to anything external, and they want to just have the identity within themselves. They want to be purity within themselves. Way easier said than done. Way easier said than done. So that's also part of it, right? What I'm learning is to not be so attached to my hair, which I haven't fully learned yet. It's just a slow process. I'm learning how to be confident. This is a big one. I'm learning how to be confident in who I am as a person, rather than being confident in what I look like to be the main force. Now, I still want to feel confident in how I look, right? That's important. But who we are as human beings, right? We know this is more important. It provides more value to the world and to ourselves, and we feel better when we feel better from the inside out. And maybe in some way I was masking that. Maybe I don't fully feel good about myself on the inside, and so I rely so heavily on the external to give me that, right? I think I just came to that as I recorded this. But those are the things that I'm learning through this process. So what I want to give to you today is, I think that no matter how prepared you try to get yourself to do this, if you're someone who's heavily attached to your hair, you still won't be ready. You still won't be ready for the feelings that are going to come on the other side. And if you're anything like me, you're going to cry a lot. You're going to feel really shitty about yourself for longer than you think. And I'm not telling you this to not do this. I'm trying to help along with those feelings and let you know they're coming, to hope that when you do decide to make this decision, that it will be less harmful to your soul, less harmful to your being. And it won't feel as drastic. Some of the things that I am doing to maintain myself, my composure, is I am trying to focus on basically everything else. Now, I'm not trying to distract myself, but I'm just trying to focus on who I am as a human being. What does that look like? How do I feel about that? Do I love those parts? Do I not love those parts? Am I holding enough compassion for myself? That's a big one. I know that I don't hold enough compassion towards myself. That's tough. Compassion work is hard work. Compassion work is hard work. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Compassion work is hard work. It takes a lot of effort. Not just compassion for yourself, but compassion for other people, compassion for other circumstances, compassion for your own circumstances, compassion for the good times, compassion for the hard times. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. So if I had to leave anything with you today, it's that whether you do this or whether you don't is irrelevant. The relevance is dig deeper into who you are inside. Because if you can find the inside on a deeper level, the outside starts to feel a lot better as well. And it starts to calm that desire to feel the need to satisfy other people's vision of you by how you look. And it starts to revalidate the true nature of who you are, which is your soul, your being, right? It revalidates that and allows you to bring out just kind of a different person, and who may actually be even more confident. Who knows? I don't know what this road has for me. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I do hold so much compassion for the people that do make this decision. I hold so much love and care and light for you, because this is tough. This is tough. This is tough work. I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you know this is what it's like. As far as the notes go, like I told you, I cried a lot. I'm still battling the feeling ugly, unattractive, and confidence thing. I think hopefully that it will come with time. It will take some work though. It will take some work. Yeah. That's the gist of it. Here's my shaved head. Like I said, I'm keeping it. I don't know how I fully feel about it yet, but growing it out doesn't feel like an option for me right now. I don't feel like I'm past that work, and so I don't want to walk away from that work. I want to dive head in, and this is literally diving head into the trenches, and going to war. Not with other people, but going to war with myself. Going to war with myself. So I hope this helps. I hope that I didn't scare you off too much about doing this, because that was not my intention. My intention was just to simply let you know how it's going, what's happening, how it's feeling, how I'm feeling, get a little vulnerable with you, share some inside access to my life, what I'm going, how I'm battling, what I'm going, where I'm going, and to hopefully help you a little bit, help build a little bit of confidence in you, help build a little bit more self-love in you. And it will take some time. Self-love is a lifelong journey. So I hope this helps. Coach Kyle is out. As always, I'm sending you all my light and all my love. And keep fighting. Keep fighting. You got this. And forever fighting. Love you all. Ciao.